Population selection we have chosen are first-year female students at Ohio University. Our initial population selection were all first-year students. We were interested in this population because first-year students have multiple elements thrown their way, and one of these elements include the adjustment from high school to college itself. With this element in mind, a group wanted to focus on the transition from being a high school student to a college student and the effects this transition had on a student's moral development. All the aspects that may go into shaping a student's first year in college, like picking a major, joining a club, selecting a friend group, etc., can have serious effects on the moral development of that student. We interviewed 6 freshmen female, 5 of which are undecided majors, and 1 is majoring in exercise physiology.
Carol Gilligan challenged Lawrence Kohlberg's theory of moral development. Previous research focused on men, and Gilligan claimed that the field of psychology ignored the experiences and voices of half of the human race. Because of this, she researched and developed her own theory. Her goal was to prove that women were not inferior to men regarding their moral development, but rather differed from their male counterparts. This theory focuses on connections and relationships between people, as well as an ethic of care for those people as opposed to separation and an ethic of justice. Ethic of care places an emphasis on relationships, but is also very context-dependent. Those practicing ethic of care oftentimes attempt to compromise and accommodate. The first stage of Gilligan's theory is pre-conventional. In this stage, the focus is on an individual's needs and survival. Then there is a transition from selfishness to responsibility to others. The second stage, conventional, asserts that self-sacrifice is goodness. In this stage, an individual puts the needs of others above everything else and relies heavily on others and social acceptance. Then there is a transition from goodness to truth. In the post-conventional stage, the focus is on a principle of nonviolence. An individual should not hurt others or self, but rather seek ways to maintain harmony.
Actually I have, and it was a friend from high school, and she kind of had a mental breakdown at the beginning of school, so I just kind of comforted her and was sat with her and had her drink some water.
And why did you do that?
Because she's my friend, so I obviously have care about her.
I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is happiness, I guess. Because even though my friends make me the happiest person ever, I think if you're not comfortable or happy with yourself, then none of it really helps, So hopefully walking away from college, you get a sense of more self-perspective and how you should treat yourself and how you should take care of yourself before other people.
So do you think that answer would have been different if we asked you before you came to college?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Do you think that that's, throughout your life, it's continually changed?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Do you think, what would be your answer, if we asked you, in your senior year of high school?
Senior year of high school, I probably would have said that your friends were most important in your relationships, which are important. They're very, very important. But I think at the end of the day, you only have yourself, so you have to be comfortable and happy with yourself because you're the only person you got.
I don't think they've been tested. I think they've been made stronger. I think I've found myself more. I think I'm becoming more true to myself. I don't think I've really changed my moral beliefs.
Okay. How did you determine that when you were maybe challenged or tested in order to grow those? How did you determine right from wrong in that situation?
Again, I always just think of the consequences, and I like to do what's best for myself. So if my friends are doing something I don't believe in or want to do, then separate myself.
Wasn't there?
I have done that, yes.
You've done that.
Yes.
Okay. So what made you decide, yes, I'll do this for you?
Honestly, I've only sided with my friends, not strangers, but I know they would do the same thing for me.
Okay.
And it's just kind of I know there's stuff going on, and sometimes you can't make it. And like, I don't know. I just don't want my friends to like miss attendance because that's I feel like that's like a stupid grade, honestly. So.
Do you think it would matter what their reasoning would be for missing class?
No, not really. I mean, if they ask me, like, I know they can't be there for a reason, so.
Yeah, I hear you. So earlier you said, like, you've done it for friends but not for strangers. So what's the difference there for you?
Honestly, like, I don't want to be the cause of, like, another person's that's not my friend. I don't know how to explain that.
Okay.
Like, just, like, I know my friends' lives more than I do a stranger's, and I don't know how they would, like if it comes back on me, like, I don't know how they would react, but I know how my friends would react. So.
Would you say that you value your friendship, like relationships, more than just your classmates?
Yes.
100%. When making new friends, I'm kind of a nosy person. So, like my roommates, for example, if something's going on with them, like, I'd have to determine whether, like, I should say something, like, are you okay, and not, like, push and like, ask and ask, like I would do with my hometown friends, just because they might need some privacy or something like that, but.
So can you tell us about a time where you maybe had to determine, like, if you should intervene or you should not say something, just a little more, like, detail?
I know someone who might have, like, an eating disorder, and she's not very open about it, but, like, I'm not sure, I wasn't sure if I should, like, say something or, like, not say something, so I just went to her friend that's closer to her, and I asked her about it, and she said she was dealing with it, so.
In my psychology class, actually, there's this girl that comes in, like, she comes in late every day, and sometimes she only stays for, like, the attendance code, and I kind of noticed that, like, she didn't have a real book bag. She had one of those bags from, like, orientation, and the other day she came in, and it was, like, 30 degrees outside, and she didn't have a coat on, so I was, like, I could tell that, like, I don't know, I just thought maybe she didn't have a coat, so, like, I leaned forward, and I'm like, hey, don't take this the wrong way, but I wanted to ask, like, do you have a winter coat? If you don't, I can bring you one. And she said, no, I just didn't look at what the degree was before I went outside. And I'm like, okay, well, if you need anything, just let me know. Like, this girl was a complete stranger. I didn't get anything out of it, but it just made me feel better knowing that, like, if there was something I could have done.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And have you always kind of been this way growing up? Would you have done that maybe before college, or have you gained more confidence in college to do that?
I've definitely always been, like, a outgoing, like, empathetic person, so if someone is not doing well, I've always wanted to help them.
One of our recommendations is to add a component to a learning community on campus that specifically targets assisting underclass females in moral development. Specifically, it would be centered on teaching these students how to develop and maintain moral values as they adjust to college life, as well as assisting their friends and peers with this process. Another recommendation we have is for Ohio University to provide a session during freshman orientation that is specifically for female students. This session should provide information about different resources on campus that can assist female students in their development process as they navigate their way through college. It would also be advantageous to have an upper-class female come in as a guest speaker for the session and speak to the incoming female students about how to develop and maintain moral values in the college setting, especially when making new friends. Our third and final recommendation would be to create a mentor program. These mentors would be volunteer upper-class females who would, quote-unquote, adopt freshman females. Mentors would not only show mentees around campus in the first few weeks, but also inform their mentees of different on-campus resources. Mentors should be of help to their mentees in other situations as well, including things like advice on relationships, classes, difficult situations, and other things that can help freshman females become more comfortable and resilient when sticking to their moral values in their campus environment.